Hello, welcome back to Blend 3C Live Noding. In this episode, I want to share with you this node setup I created using Spreadstroke add-on. So the nodes basically allow you to do this. Not this one. It's probably this is something that I'm working on. But yeah, what is this? This is actually kind of like a noise that's actually looping. So as you can see, if as it's playing back, there is no jump because the whole thing is like looping. If I just give you these notes, probably slightly daunting and scary, but I have a simpler notes that actually does the same job. Yeah, you start from the last node. You can see this is just a cylinder, and what's doing the job is actually this meridian's profile, and it's actually coming from this vector noise scalar. And what's creating the noise and the loop is actually simply a circle that's being rotated 360 degree. So if you imagine like a noise, if you can make the first and the last value created by the noise the same, then you're gonna have loop. And that's actually not that difficult if you imagine like a circle. So we have something that's generating the noise, and it's actually rotating. If it's rotating, eventually it's gonna come back to the original point, so it's gonna create a loop. So while it's doing that, we can generate noise based on the circle. So this is actually what's going on. If I go back to the older version, okay, this one is actually simpler. So we have something that's controlling the length of the line, it seems. It is also changing the number of frames. So this is like 32 frame. I can change it to 100 frames and still doing this kind of looping. So this could be useful for if you are creating like a heartbeat kind of wave. So the loop is perfect thanks to, again, thanks to the circle. So this is the circle value that's keep doing the loop. And what I did here is actually similar to the rotating the circle. I'm just simply shifting the list. So this is another method you can do. So the vector value that's coming from the circle and being shifted goes inside the vector noise. So vector noise is really the one that's doing the hard job, right? And up here we have line, and the line actually being the Z of the line is being disturbed by the noise. So it's really that simple. And this noise can be any kind of noise. And the original, before I smooth it, is looking something like this. That's phonoid crackle, cell noise. And we can control the actual the size of the noise based on the circle itself. So this circle is really important, and this is affecting the length, and also we can make it shorter and longer from here. But basically this thing is always looping. So I should give this setup to you. This is noise loop A. The next one I have, actually the one that's using rotations, I believe. So that's number 7, number 8. So number 8, yep. This one, instead of using the list shift, instead of shifting the point data of circle, I'm using an actual rotation. So from a circle as an input for noise, I'm actually rotating it, and as it's creating like 360 rotations and looping, it will create a looping noise for us. Same idea, but this one is probably smoother. It's gonna give smoother effects. I think this is kind of interesting. And what is the speed? I couldn't control the speed. I think the speed is really depending on the speed of rotation, but you have to be careful the way you evaluate the time so that the looping is always perfect. This one is slightly more complicated and probably can be improved. So this was actually inspired by a video tutorial by Daniel Schiffman about looping noise. It's from Coding Train. His example is made using processing. It's actually interesting as well. So he's using like Cartesians, converting Cartesians into polar coordinates, and it's slightly more complicated, but the same idea. And I believe my setup can also still be improved for that. So from this line, really, if you want to pass this into cylinder, you just use cylinder MK2, and then we only need to care about the noise. The noise goes into the meridian, but the parallels need to have some value, the proper value. So let's try this. So we have a cylinder. It's doing something, but the parallels needs more divisions. So the parallel, let's make this 40, for example, and so the parallels can be also be 40. So now we have the perfect loop, and we still have control over things like this. So whenever I see something like this, I always think, okay, that can be a lightsaber design. Another one. I don't know, maybe it's not really lightsaber, it's probably like a tower, some kind of tower that you see in Dragon Ball anime. Alright, but that's pretty much it. It's a looping noise. It's really useful once you understand how it works. You perhaps can use it to make like a looping flag that's being disturbed and displaced by the noise, but it's also kind of looping perfectly. So I want to create that kind of effects, flag or maybe like wave. So there you go. That's pretty much it. Thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.